Namaste. We now come to the chapter 4 of Yoga Vasishta Sara, Dissolution of the Mind. First verse. Consciousness, which is undivided, imagines to itself desirable objects and runs after them. It is then known as the mind. Second, from this omnipresent and omnipotent Supreme Lord arose, like ripples in water, the power of imagining separate objects. Third, just as fire, born out of wind fanned into flame, is extinguished by the same wind, so also that which is born of imagination is destroyed by imagination itself. Fourth, the mind has come into existence through this imagination on account of forgetfulness. Like the experience of one's own death in a dream, it ceases to exist when scrutinized. Fifth, the idea of self in what is not the self is due to incorrect understanding. The idea of reality in what is unreal, O Rama, know that to be the mind, Chittam. Sixth, this is him, I am this, that is mine. Such ideas constitute the mind. It disappears when one ponders over these false ideas. Seventh, it is the nature of the mind to accept certain things and to reject others. This is bondage, nothing else. Eighth, the mind is the creator of the world. The mind is the individual, Purusha. Only that which is done by the mind is regarded as done, not that which is done by the body. The arm with which one embraces the wife is the very arm with which one embraces the daughter. Ninth, the mind is the cause of, that is, produces the objects of perception. The three worlds depend upon it. When it is dissolved, the world is also dissolved. It is to be cured, that is, purified with effort. 10th, the mind is bound by the latent impressions, that is, vasanas. When there are no impressions, it is free. Therefore, O Ram, bring about quickly through discrimination the state in which there are no impressions. 11th, just as a streak of cloud stains, that is, appears to stain, the moon or a blotch of ink, a lime-plastered wall, so also the evil spirit of desire stains the inner man. 12th, O Ram, he who with inturned mind offers all the three worlds like dried grass as an oblation in the fire of knowledge becomes free from the illusions of the mind. 13. When one knows the real truth about acceptance and rejection and does not think of anything but abides in himself, abandoning everything, his mind does not come into existence. 14. The mind is terrible, Ghoram, in the waking state, gentle, that is Santam, in the dream state, and dull, that is Mudham, in deep sleep, and dead when not in any of these three states. 15. Just as the powder of the Kataka seed, after precipitating the dirt in water, becomes merged in the water, so also the mind, after removing all impressions, itself becomes merged in the self. The mind is sansar. The mind is also said to be bondage. The body is activated by the mind, just as a tree is shaken by the wind. 17. Conquer your mind first by pressing the palm with the palm, grinding the teeth with the teeth, and twisting the limbs with the limbs. 18. Does not the fool feel ashamed to move about in the world as he pleases and talk about meditation when he is not able to conquer even the mind? 19. The only God to be conquered is the mind. Its conquest leads to the attainment of everything. Without its conquest, all other efforts are fruitless. 20. To be unperturbed is the foundation of blessedness. One attains liberation by it. To human beings, even the conquest of the three worlds without the conquest of the mind is as insignificant as a blade of grass. 21. Association with the wise, abandonment of latent impressions, self-inquiry, control of breathing, these are the means of conquering the mind. 22. To one who is shod with leather, meaning wearing leather shoe, the earth is as good as covered with leather. Even so, to the mind which is full, that is undivided, the world overflows with nectar. 23. The mind becomes bound by thinking, I am not Brahman. It becomes completely released by thinking, I am Brahman. 24. When the mind is abandoned, that is dissolves, everything that is dual or single is dissolved. What remains after that is the Supreme Brahman, peaceful, eternal and free from misery. 25. There is nothing to equal the supreme joy felt by a person of pure mind who has attained the state of pure consciousness and overcome death. Here we conclude chapter 4, that is dissolution of the mind. In the next narration, we will see chapter 5, unreality of the world. Chapter 5, the destruction of latent impressions. O Ram, this inquiry into the self of the nature or who am I is the fire which burns up the seeds of the evil tree, which is the mind. 2. Just as the wind does not affect the creepers in a picture, so also afflictions do not affect one whose understanding is fortified by firmness and are always reflected in the mirror of inquiry. 3. The knowers of truth declare that inquiry into the truth of the self is knowledge. What is to be known is contained in it like sweetness in milk. 4. To one who has realized the self by inquiry, Brahma, Vishnu and Shiva are objects of compassion. 5. To one who is fond of inquiring constantly, what is this vast universe and who am I, this world becomes quite unreal. 6. Just as in mirage, the idea of water does not occur to one who knows that it is a mirage. Even so, latent impressions do not rise in one whose ignorance has been destroyed by realizing that everything is Brahman. 7th, by the abandonment of latent impressions or by the control of breathing, mind ceases to be the mind. Practice whichever you like. 8th, O pure soul, cherish the association of sages and the true scriptures. You will attain the state of supreme consciousness not in the course of months but days. 9th, latent impressions cease to be active when one associates with sages, discards all thoughts of sansar, and remembers that the body has to die. 10th, O Raghava, even ignorant persons, by the firmness of their conviction, convert poison into nectar and nectar into poison. 11. When this body is taken to be real, it serves the purpose of a body, but when it is seen to be unreal, it becomes like space, that is, unsubstantial, convert. 12th, O Ram, while lying on a soft bed, you wander about in all directions with a dream body. But now, in this waking state, where is that body? 13. Just as a respectable man avoids contact with an outcast woman carrying dog's flesh, so also one should discard the thought, I am the body, even if everything were to be lost. 14. When the aspirant sadhu thinks only a Brahman and remains calm and free from sorrows, his egoity dies of itself. 15. If one realizes the unity of things everywhere, one always remains tranquil, inwardly cool and pure, like space without the sense of I. 16. If inwardly one is cool, the whole world will be cool. But if inwardly one is hot, that is agitated, the whole world will be a burning mass. Here we conclude chapter 5, Unreality of the World. Next narration will be of chapter 6, The Destruction of Latent Impression.